Okay, we're on.
Assalamualaikum and good afternoon everybody. Okay, so today we are gonna discuss about our topic and it's learning as a substitute for classroom learning. So what actually e-learning mean to you? Amal, what is e-learning?
Online learning.
What can you elaborate more?
We learn from online class.
Yeah, can accept. Okay, so actually, e-learning is the delivery of learning and skill from digital source like on Zoom, WhatsApp, YouTube. You can learn almost anything there. So, as we know, there are so many articles that explain about e-learning. For example, from the article that I have found, the future of education, online learning can substitute traditional learning. The content of the article is about the argument about can actually online learning replace the traditional learning or like this face-to-face learning. So, actually, e-learning have been from 1960 and it's evolved. Actually, it start from experiment from maybe I don't remember the information, but actually from the experiment from 1960 and until now, it's evolved and it's become more futuristic.
Okay, that's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have been experienced with online learning since pandemic COVID-19, and it's restrict people from go out to the school and office. So student and worker are study and work from home from their laptop, phone, maybe PC. Yeah. So, survey have shown that 70% of students agree that online learning is better than classroom learning. Actually, can actually online learning replace traditional learning? So, Nurul, do you have any idea about our topic today?
Okay, thank you, Fakri. First and foremost, as the specialist of this forum, I agree that e-learning can be a substitute for classroom learning. As for what Fakri has said, e-learning has been a thing since a long time ago, but it has been more emphasized and practiced ever since the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic. During the pandemic, we have experienced many changes in our daily life, which includes the transitioning of traditional classroom learning to e-learning. I'm pretty sure everyone in this classroom have experienced this, right? And it includes myself too. So this experience itself have supports and strengthens my argument that e-learning can be a substitute for classroom learning. So firstly, with practicing online learning, students have the accessibility to time and place. As we all are aware, in some countries, there are students who juggle between studying and work. Maybe it's not quite common in Brunei, but it is very common in other countries where students who are currently studying, but they also have a part-time job. As a background to support my statement, according to an article published in August 2022, as of 2021, there are a percentage of 23% of young people in formal education who are also employed at the same time. And then, among the EU member states, the Netherlands had the highest share of students being employed, leading with 70%, followed by Denmark with 49% and Germany with 42%. Moreover, Another survey has been carried out, and it was found out that amongst 2,000 plus students who are still studying, 45% of them are having part-time jobs, which is nearly half of the number of the students.
Mhm.
Now, with the given statistics, it has shown that many students tend to struggle between balancing their work life and education. So there must be an alternative way that could help the students in balancing out their study and work life, in which in this case is through e-learning. So with e-learning, online lectures can be recorded, archived, and saved for future reference. So I do have a question here. Can you guys give me any example of apps that we use during online classes? Then, so those apps mentioned above, those apps that you guys mentioned are usually the learning medium that teacher usually use to upload resources like video presentations and notes for us to revisit and watch them when necessary. This has helped some of the students who miss classes because of works or because of other reasons, like they were not paying attention in class or they didn't fully understand the topic. So they can always go back to that recorded materials and watch them over and over again until they fully understand it. So thus this proves that e-learning can be and should be a substitute for classroom as it has the accessibility of time. Moreover, e-learning can also provide students the accessibility of place. Students can choose their own study environment. Some people prefer to study in a place with noisy surrounding, and some people prefer to study in a quiet place like library or their own room where they feel comfortable the most. Furthermore, a clean and organized place to study plays a huge part in students' attention. A clean environment can help reduce distractions, allowing students to focus their attention on their work. According to study, it was found that learning environment plays a huge role in student success. Students who study in a more clean, organized, and comfortable space tends to be more motivated, engaged, and have a higher learning ability. While students who study in a poor environment, such as like with loud and noisy surroundings, they tend to get distracted and have a hard time to absorb the information given. So in conclusion, this supports the idea of e-learning can be a substitute for classroom learning as it provides the accessibility of place and time for students. Thank you.
Okay, thank you Helen for your interesting point. Next we go with Zikri and with his point.
Okay, for the advocacy of this topic, first of all, I want to ask to the audience, do you guys have any challenges during online learning? What are the challenges that you face during online learning?
Internet connection. Wi-Fi connection.
Mm-hmm. More. Anything else? I want to hear also. I want to know. What's that? You cannot afford Wi-Fi, yes. Can be expensive, I understand. Mm-hmm. More.
Okay, that's it.
Okay. We get the point, yes. Many challenges. Okay.
I do agree that e-learning can give the benefits for flexibility for the students, but in order for e-learning to be conducted, students will need their devices to be able to learn and to engage during online learning. to communicate with their teachers. But what about the underprivileged students who don't have the financial capabilities to purchase these gadgets? The problem with e-learning is not all students have the access to digital device like computers, laptops, tablets, or even smartphones, which can prevent students from engaging in e-learning. The Malaysia Education Ministry found that 40% of Malaysian students lack devices for e-learning, and only 6% have access to personal computers back in 2020, when millions of students have resorted to learning from home due to the pandemic COVID-19. The underprivileged students were most likely to be left out during e-learning and have no access to education. Although the government have tried to tackle these issues by providing free gadgets or electronic device for the students to receive education through online learning, many students who had requested the device still didn't have them by late April, which is like a few weeks during the lockdown during March. Yet some students do receive the free gadgets from the government. There is other problems for these students, which is the lack of internet connection. Most of these underprivileged students lives in the rural areas where the internet connectivity may be limited or non-existent, which can prevent them to attend their online classes and miss their education learning. The story of Maxwell Leoli, the 11 years old Malaysian student who live in Pinokok village in Sabah, said to the interviewer, he said that to get the best connection, we go up to that hill to download the notes. But when it rains, we cannot go out, so we have to bear with what we can get. Showing that they have a limited access for internet connection to attend online learning. Therefore, e-learning is not accessible for all students, especially those who don't have the financial capabilities to attend online learning. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Zikri, for your opinion. Okay. So we are going to the second point. Okay.
Secondly, with e-learning, it gives us the opportunity to enjoy a self-paced learning. It offers students both the ability and flexibility to study according to their own individual preferences. As we all know, each individuals have different preferences and likings. Some methods may work for us and some may don't. The same concept applies here. Some students prefer to have a fixed study schedule, and some prefer to study at the time where they feel the most efficient. According to an article written by Jonathan and Aaron Benjamin on the effectiveness of self-paced learning, they say that being an effective student requires the ability to guide one's own learning activities effectively. Students choose what to learn. Students choose what to study, how to study, when to study, and how long to study. These self-regulated aspects of learning have important implications for the effectiveness of their learning efforts and achievements in education. It is very important for students to find their own right study method according to their preferences and likings. It can be early in the morning or even late at night. So I have a question here. Do you guys prefer to study in the morning or at night? Maybe raise hand who prefer to study in the morning. Can I ask why in the morning?
Still have energy.
Energy. What?
Because in the morning you feel fresh, so you feel very energized and you're still in good condition. So that's why studying in the morning is good.
No, it's calmer in the morning, so not many distractions.
What about those who prefer to study at night? Why do you prefer to study at night? Paul?
For me, it's more because there's less distractions. At the morning, there's going to be a lot of sounds, maybe from the kitchens pots and pans. banging around, or maybe like your family members are talking a lot outside. Uh, when I study at night time, it feels like it's more calmer. There's less noise, and I can focus on my work more efficiently. There's also the fact that I think there was a study back in. I think there was a study where, not a study, but an observation where if you get information before you sleep, and then after you get the information, you sleep. In the morning, you'll be able to retain that information, which means that which means study efficiency will be much higher. At least that's my opinion.
Others who prefer study at night? One more opinion maybe?
There's also the fact that, sorry, just to add on, there's also the fact that maybe some people here don't get energized in the morning. They feel much more energetic during the night time. Yeah.
Thank you for your opinion. So it really depends on our daily routine, and when we would really study, students know the best of themselves. So you know your own self. So when you feel like studying, you go study. So it really depends on ourselves to study. As I mentioned earlier, fixed study schedule may not work for us. Some students may feel like a fixed study schedule can actually force them to study and actually decrease their focus on studies. So as a conclusion, with e-learning, it provides the choice for students to study at the time they prefer and believe they are most efficient. And that sums up my second point. Thank you.
Okay, thank you Nick, for your second point. So, what about your opinion on main point?
The other problems for students during online learning is it requires a strong self-motivation. Self-motivation is important because it helps us to focus, and staying motivated is the key to success. However, unfortunately, online learning can lead to low self-motivation due to different factors such as the lack of social interaction. For example, because of the absence of physical classroom environment and limited interaction with peers, this can lead to feelings of isolation and the lack of connection. For some students, the absence of this social interaction can reduce their motivation to participate with their online classes. And unlike the traditional classroom settings where teachers provide constant guide, e-learning puts everything in the hands of the student to organize, and they are the one who gets to decide when and how much to study. Students need to have high self-motivation in order to stay focused and actively participate in their online classes. Another factor that affects the self-motivation of the students is the technical difficulties, which can lead to frustration and demotivate the students. While online learning heavily relies on technology and digital platform, technical issues such as low internet connection and glitches can cause frustration, and when students are dealing with these challenges, it can be demotivating and decrease their desire to attend online classes. Okay, I have a question for you guys. Do you guys have experienced the sudden disconnected from the Zoom meeting or Google Classroom? Or have the difficulties on learning how to manage the Zoom? Yes. Zeka, do you have any challenges? Can you repeat? Have you experienced the sudden disconnected from Zoom meeting or Google Classroom during online learning?
Yes, I do.
What do you feel when that happened? You lost your motivation to attend the class?
I feel stressed.
Okay, thank you. In a survey from 5 large public universities in 2021 shows that 76% of undergraduates and 56% of graduate and professional students pointed to low motivation as their biggest obstacle to online learning success. This loss of motivation can lead to students to not attending their classes and finishing their homework, which can affect their learning progress and academic progress. Furthermore, time management skills are also important during online learning. I have another question. As you know that during online learning, we learn in the comfort of our house, so we can easily distracted through social media and TikTok. Do you have difficulties to manage your time and to attend your classes? Elizabeth, do you have any difficulties to manage your time during online learning?
Schedules and difficult to wake up in the morning.
Okay, thank you. While the traditional classroom settings, students have specific place where they need to be with a specific time. But with e-learning, students need to set their own time to study and go through the lessons, which requires students the ability to stay disciplined and a real understanding about how to wisely use their time throughout the day. E-learning sometimes requires students to balance multiple responsibilities, such as work, family, or other commitments alongside their studies, doing homeworks and attending online classes. Without proper time management skills, it is easy for students to procrastinate, and it also affects the mental health of the students, which can cause students to stress and their anxiety level may increase. And unfortunately again, e-learning can cause poor time management because of distractions. Online learning allows students to study from the comfort of their own house. While this flexibility is beneficial, it also can create distraction that can prevent students to attend online learning. Students may encounter temptations such as social media, household chores, or other personal activities that can distract their attention from their studies. Statistics shows that many college students struggle with managing their time effectively. According to a Statista survey, 86% of US college students report difficulty with time management, while 54% experience increased stress due to poor time management practice. Additionally, 69% of surveyed college students claim working while attending school affect their ability to manage their time efficiently. This shows that students are struggling to manage their time during e-learning, which will affect their academic performance.
Basically, and now we are going to about the activities. Okay, so continue.
Okay, for the activist point, I would say that e-learning should not replace the traditional way of learning completely. Instead, in order to maximize the learning progress of the students, we should combine both online learning and face-to-face learning, which is known as hybrid learning. Hybrid learning has been launched by the UNESCO in response to the pandemic COVID-19 back in July 2020, and they claim that hybrid learning is the key element in ensuring continued learning. This type of learning has been found to have numerous benefits, including increased students' engagement and improved student outcomes. Traditional learning methods, such as classroom lectures and discussion, provide direct interaction with instructor and peers, allowing for immediate clarification and engagement. On the other hand, e-learning offers flexibility and individual-based learning. By combining both of this approach, students can benefit from the traditional classroom setting and the e-learning, the flexibility that's provided by the e-learning. Incorporating e-learning as a complementary approach recognizes the value of technological advances in education while preserving the social and interpersonal aspect of traditional learning. Balancing the two allows students to acquire digital skills, adapt to evolving technologies, and enjoy the convenience e-learning provides without completely replacing the valuable human interaction that traditional learning provides. The statistic from the UNESCO shows that hybrid learning models can increase the rate of student engagement by as much as 16%. This demonstrates that hybrid learning can be a powerful tool for increasing the student engagement, providing a significant boost to the e-learning experience. Other statistics also shows that hybrid learning approach reduces failure rates by 20%. It shows that by combining traditional classroom instructions with online learning, failure rates can be significantly reduced, ensuring the effectiveness of hybrid learning.
Thank you. So now we're going to the conclusion. So to summarize our discussion for today, okay, what the reason for people think that online learning can substitute classroom learning? So for the first point, accessibility of time and place. Second point, the opportunity to enjoy self-paced learning, from what Nguyen told us before. And while from Zikri's opinion, the opposite of view, that he opposed the idea of online learning can replace traditional learning, by the point that said the access of device and need a strong self-motivation and time management. So at the last, we could also tell us about the hybrid learning, where we mix the traditional learning and online learning, where people can learn from online like YouTube, so you can revise back about the topic you actually don't understand, and you can also read from the book. Thank you. That's all for us.
We're still early. I think that was very good. All right. So let's just continue with that excellent momentum, excellent moderation, specialist, and also adversary point of views. Let's maintain that momentum. Any questions? You ask them whether they might have something to say. Something relating to the experience, online learning experience, and with learning now, if our online learning experience has changed our learning style, whether that has happened or not. So you can interact with the audience, Mr. Moderator.
Thank you, teacher. Okay. So, anyone have any question about our topic today? Amal dan senyum-senyum. Kalau ada question, tanya. Just ask any question.
Yes, thank you. Yes.
What do you think about SAG?
SAG, like for all level. Okay. SAG, our batch. Okay. So for me, SAG maybe like for somebody is maybe unfair for them, and maybe somebody will be happy with their score. Like maybe it's unfair because it's only see from your previous exam that you actually don't do maybe seriously. Yeah. And maybe some people will be happy because their mark is higher. Yeah.
In my opinion, I really dislike SAG as I have a bad experience with it. Because our batch, on the roles we use SAG, right? And then I feel like it is very unfair for some students because SAG took marks from our previous exams and classworks and homeworks. And what if some students actually try to work hard at the end of their 5 years learning in high school, and it get wasted by SAG. So I think it's very unfair like to use marks from previous exams because I feel like we didn't really study for our previous exams because we say we still have time for our final exam. But at the end, COVID-19 happens and we use SAT, and I still don't prefer SAT because like I have this bad experience where I get D for my national maths, and I still feel unfair about that because towards the end I study really hard, but they still use the marks from the previous exam time. So up until now, I still feel hate to SAT.
Okay, about sleep.
SAG. For me, I have two opinions lah. Based on my experience, actually I do prefer SAG because I got higher marks. But I also dislike that because I pay the tuition fees for my O-level exam, which is not that cheap, but suddenly SAG is happened. So, but us, but I still get the credit for the subjects.
What about your opinion, Aiman, about SAG?
For me, SAT, it can be a negative leveling for the student who's set for SAT. For instance, from my school, my previous school, we are being labeled as what we call? Oh God, something negative levels that demotivated our previous self.
What was it?
I think. Can I speak Malay? Because the teacher was telling us about kamu student SAG juga, tak kamu you didn't work macam
From your old school? Or from your old school? Okay.
macam you guys didn't work very hard and juga tak kamu dapat SAG. Kalau kamu ada SAG ni, tentang kamu ni ampai-ampai kami apa lagi. Yeah, that's very hard. I will remember this. And also from my previous junior, they also labeling us as lucky student. Macam, oh, you guys SAG, it's okay. Everything macam, yeah, labeling. Mostly negative.
Others?
Maybe Iqbal.
I agree on the point with Ahmed. Since we are the batch of SAT, people will look down on us, thinking that we're lucky, that we only use previous marks to determine our future. Thus, we have this stigma that we're the stupid batch, that we're all the failure batches. Even in schools and in families, in society alike, we are looked down upon and really underestimate us because we don't get to display our skills, we don't get to show our work fully. So in a sense, I agree with Nurin. It's not fair for all of us, even though some of us prefer SAG because even I get higher grades for a subject that I have failed so badly. But in a way, it carries this feeling of unsettledness. Yeah, that we are not that worthy to be here. So yeah, that's what SAG.
Thank you. So actually, for your all, SAG is a bad thing or a good thing for us?
Bad thing.
It's pretty much double
In
edged.
between.
It's neither bad thing nor good thing. 50-50.
It's 50, yeah. It's a double edged sword.
Yes, okay.
Yeah,
I have a
listen
question
first.
for you guys, for each of you guys. So during our online learning, we may experience some health problem such as CPS, which is carpal tunnel syndrome, in which your wrist is in a bad condition. So what other health issues that you guys experience other than CPS?
Maybe for me, actually, maybe a flu and fever, like very bad fever at the time. Like you sick and you must go to online class actually. Yeah, like you wake up early in the morning. Yeah, and study even if sick, you are sick.
Yeah, that was funny. Absent. Home. How can you be absent? Interesting. I think from my standpoint as a teacher, receiving SAG students as well as giving SAG marks also to my former students, I think there were many misconceptions during online lesson. Many misconceptions. 1 hour EGP online lesson does not mean that you have to be in front of your screen for 1 hour. So many subjects were like that. Correct? 1 hour, first subject, second subject, another hour, third subject, another hour, 4 hours, 5 hours total in one day looking at the screen. Online learning does not mean that. Okay, so break that misconception. I think there's still many teachers going around still having that misconception. If you remember me, I gave you an online video assignment for you to manage your time independently to make a video where you talk about a certain topic. I think soapbox, I think it was, if I remember correctly. And then videos to watch, all in the convenience of your own time. I think we need to correct that. I don't know who to go, but I do realize or who to tell, where to go in terms of that misconception still lingering in Brunei about online learning. One. Secondly, even about SAG, there was a misconception by teachers. I think there is a range of quality also. Teachers did not have to take marks from previous exams only. We could take marks from home. There was actually a flexibility depending on students' agreement. It was an agreement. It should be an agreement between teachers and students. What marks do you want me to take for your exam? But it has to be agreed by the whole class. There had to be an open discussion about what marks to take. That was the understanding. I don't think many teachers did that with their students. So another misconception. For me personally, I like SAG because it takes into regard your whole year performance, and it did not just concentrate on a final exam. Okay, your ability cannot, I mean, that's my opinion, cannot just depend on one day performance of a particular subject. So for me, it's fair. It's more fair than our traditional exam season where we took grades, homework, classwork, and then smaller tests, provided that you are consistent in your effort throughout the year. So that's from my standpoint as a teacher. Many misconceptions. For me, if we were to move in the future towards a grade, a reflection of our whole year effort, I would like that personally. I think it's a more real reflection of students' abilities. I don't know, I'm just saying. Yes, thank you, Mr. Moderator. I pass it on to you.
Thank you, teacher, for your opinion. Okay. So, should we continue? Yes. We continue with seeking question. So, good.
Oh, regarding the health issues. For me, I don't think I have any specific health issues with online learning, except for back pain. Yeah, from sitting too long.
So exactly, if you have to stay in front of the screen for like more than 3 hours, see, and you didn't say anything, right? Then you say something next time, okay? Cannot, it's not humanly possible to be looking at the screen for 2 hours. More than 2 hours, you know, like 4 or 5 hours. Yeah, so there are many misconceptions.
For me, I don't have serious health issue. Maybe there's not enough sleep. And maybe if you still sick, you need to attend online class. The difficulties, maybe.
Maybe that's all from us. Thank you.
All right.